The biggest reason new businesses fail actually has almost nothing to do with competition or even having a perfect idea. The real danger? Well, it's a mistake that happens right at the beginning, before a single dollar is even made. See, the battle isn't really lost out there in the market. It's lost in the first few steps. So many people just follow this broken script. They build on a foundation that's basically sand. In this guide, we're going to tear up that old script and show you how to build it the right way.
So let's be super clear. If you're here for some get-rich-quick fantasy, this isn't for you. This is a real, practical, step-by-step guide for anyone who's starting from scratch. We're talking little to no experience, no audience, and not a lot of money. We're gonna build something real from the ground up.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going through 5 super important steps, all the way from finding your idea to actually getting paid. Now, I really want you to pay attention to step 2, because honestly, skipping that one step is probably the biggest reason most new businesses don't even make it past their first year.
All right, first things first. You have to stop falling in love with your own ideas. Seriously, entrepreneurship isn't about some genius idea just popping into your head. At its heart, it's just about solving problems for other people. That's the big mental shift you have to make. And look at this. This really says it all. On the left, everything starts with I. It's all about you. But on the right, it's all about the customer. And let me tell you, successful businesses are almost always born on that right side because they're fixing a real frustration. And why does that work? Because the demand is already there. You're not trying to convince people they need something. You're just offering a solution to a pain they already feel. Right. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer is not to sit in a room and guess. It's to do a little market research. But here's the key. You're not doing it to prove your idea is great. You're doing it to listen, to find out what problems people are already complaining about. It really just comes down to asking the right questions. Just for a minute, forget about your brilliant solution and focus on these. And pay super close attention to that last one. What are their biggest frustrations with current solutions? The answer to that question, well, that's where your business is hiding. Okay, so you found a real problem. Now, before you build anything, before you spend a single dime, you need proof. Proof that people not only have this problem, but they actually care enough to pull out their wallets for a solution. Seriously, I need you to hear this. The biggest trap you can fall into is spending months, maybe even your own savings, perfecting something, only to launch it and hear nothing but crickets. This whole step, which we call validation, is designed to save you from that heartache, to make damn sure people will actually buy what you're planning to build. And you don't need some massive budget to do this. Just follow these 3 simple steps. Find some potential customers, ask them about their problems, and then test them. That last step is everything. Someone saying, oh yeah, I totally buy that, is nice, but it's worthless. A pre-order, an email address for a waitlist, a small deposit, that is real proof. It's the only proof that actually counts.
Okay, let's keep going. Once you've got that proof, that validation, the temptation is to go build the most perfect, feature-packed version of your idea, and that is a huge trap. Your job is to fight that urge for perfection and launch the most basic, simple, stripped-down version you possibly can.
There's a name for this. It's called a minimum viable product, or MVP. And this definition really nails it. The goal isn't to launch something that's finished. The goal is to launch something that lets you learn from real customers as fast and as cheaply as you can. And if you think this is just for small-time startups, think again. Amazon didn't start as the everything store. Jeff Bezos started with a super clunky, basic website selling only books that he packed himself in his garage. That was their MVP. What about Uber? It wasn't the slick app we all know. Their MVP was a simple service where you'd send a text message to get a car. It only worked in one city for a handful of people. It was basic, but it proved the core idea. And Spotify? Before they had deals with every record label on earth, their MVP was a simple desktop app. Their only goal was to prove to a small group of testers that they could stream music instantly without buffering. So yeah, even the giants we know today, they all started small and imperfect. I want to just pause here for a second. If all of this is starting to feel like a lot, or maybe even a little overwhelming, good. That's actually a sign you're taking this seriously. It means you're thinking about the real work involved. The folks who think this stuff is easy are the ones who are in for a rude awakening, so trust me, you are on the right track.
So you've got your simple product, you're ready to go. Now, where do you put your time and energy? This is where so many beginners get it completely wrong. It's not about logos or business cards, it's about one thing, just one.
And this slide just perfectly shows the difference in mindset. Beginners get stuck for weeks trying to get the logo just right or building a beautiful website. But real founders, they are absolutely obsessed with one thing, getting that first paying customer. Because until someone actually pays you money, you don't have a business, you just have an expensive hobby. Well, I can tell you where they don't come from. It's not from some fancy ad campaign. It comes from doing things that don't scale. It's reaching out personally to the people you interviewed back in the validation step. It's talking to people in online forums. It's asking friends. Your goal isn't to get 100 customers. Your goal is to get one, and then another one.
You notice how this is step 5, not step 1? This is so important. You only worry about the legal stuff after you've proven you have something real. Once you have a validated idea, and maybe you've even gotten that first customer, then it's time to make things official. Okay, I know this table can look a little intimidating, but let's make it really simple. Most people just start out as a sole proprietorship. It's the default, there's no paperwork. The only catch is you are personally on the hook if something goes wrong. Once you start making some real money, a lot of people form an LLC. Just think of it like a legal shield that separates your personal stuff from your business stuff. For now, just know these options are out there.
Once you've got people paying you, all you need to do is run through this simple checklist. But the most important rule of all from day one is to open a separate business bank account. Never, ever, ever mix your personal and business money. It is the fastest way to create a total nightmare for yourself come tax time, and it wipes out any legal protection you might have.
So let's tie this all together. This isn't just a checklist you do once. It's a loop, it's a cycle. You start with a problem, you validate it, you build a simple MVP to test your solution, you get a customer, and then, and this is the most important part, you listen to them. You learn, you adapt, and you go through the loop again. That is the real engine of how a business actually grows. Look, the goal here is not to have some perfect 10-year business plan mapped out. It's just to have a solid process for starting, for testing, and for learning. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to take that very first step the right way. I promise you, patience in doing it correctly will beat speed and hype every single time. Hey, if this no-nonsense way of looking at business makes sense to you, make sure you subscribe because we've got more realistic guides just like this one coming. And if you got some value out of this, a simple like or share actually helps more people find it than you think. Thanks for watching.